I want you to listen very carefully to this clip I'm going to show you from Miracle on 34th Street. Notice how the word faith is defined.
Holy copyright infringement, Batman. We'll just skip this part.
You notice what she said, though. Faith is believing in things when common sense tells you not to. See, that's what our culture believes is the definition of faith. That's what they're working from.
And that's wrong. Nah, I think that working from this definition makes perfect sense given what I've seen from religion. But hey, Skippy here doesn't agree, apparently. So let's do this. Greetings, fellow space travelers. BionicDance here. Faith, 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 faith. Since religion cannot produce evidence for the existence of their gods, testable, empirical evidence, we're forced to rely on faith, coupled with the threat of eternal damnation if we don't have it. But having faith is obviously ridiculous, so you'll often find theists trying to rebrand it to make it seem less like wishful thinking. Newsflash, it doesn't work.
In fact, if you read Richard Dawkins' book, The God Delusion, where he argues if you believe in God, you're delusional, he argues that faith, or he just asserts that faith is persistent false belief held in the face of strong contradictory evidence. And so you have all this evidence going one way, and you just blindly believe, have faith in the opposite direction.
Well, not so much the opposite direction exactly, more like denial of data which renders one's preferred narrative no longer viable. In other words, that definitive proof that a biblical claim is crap? That doesn't count. God is real. I have faith. Like that.
It's kind of like this. On one end of the spectrum, you have science and reason, okay? This is when you're thinking rational. The more evidence you have points towards truth, this idea. But on the opposite end of the spectrum, this is where you have no evidence. And this is where you insert faith, okay? Faith on this view amounts to wishful thinking. And that's why we often people talk about blind faith or a leap of faith, okay? And so on this view, science and faith are completely at odds with each other. Agreed.
Well, yeah. If you got facts, what do you need faith for? But he just agreed with this view, so that should be the end of his belief, right? Nope. Here's where the rebranding comes in.
But the question is that what real biblical faith is? Well, I actually don't think so. And neither does my friend Sean McDowell. You guys know who Sean McDowell is? Sean, apologist, professor at Biola.
Dude I really stomped a few days ago.
He says in his book, Is God Just a Human Invention? He writes, faith is not belief in spite of the evidence, but belief in light of the evidence. I like that.
I'm sure you like that. It makes what you believe sound less douchey.
It's not belief in spite of, it's belief in light of the evidence. Now here's the problem. Who are you going to believe? Are you going to believe Richard Dawkins, Miracle on 34th Street, the culture? You're going to believe some Christians like Sean McDowell? Well, I have an idea. If you want to know what biblical faith is, it might be a good idea to, look in the Bible, Who says that's a good idea?
Actually, I think that's an outstanding idea.
All right, it's carried. How about we go to the Bible? So let's just look at one passage.
One specific passage, you say? All right, Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. That sound rather more like wishful thinking to anybody? That sound to anyone like belief without or in spite of having real-world data?
Now Jesus did many other signs in the presence of his disciples, which are not written in this book. Okay, stop right there. There's all these other signs we don't even know about. They're not even written down in John's gospel, okay? So there's all these signs and wonders, but he says, but these are written. Okay, why, John? Why did you write about these signs and wonders? So, if you got your Bible, circle the word so that you may believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that by believing you may have life in his name. The whole point in John writing his gospel is to provide a trustworthy eyewitness testimony, evidence, so that you and I would read the evidence and believe. You see, John, he got to see the evidence and believe. Well, I didn't get to see the resurrected Christ, neither did you. What we get is to read about the evidence and believe.
I didn't get to see the UFO crash at Roswell, but I get to read the evidence and believe. See how idiotic that sounds when we're not talking about a god? So why doesn't it sound idiotic when it's a theist saying it? Because it should, because it does.
Does this sound like John didn't care about evidence? Seriously, does this sound like John wants us to take a blind leap of faith in the dark?
Quite a bit, actually, because what evidence? We've got eyewitness testimony, and that's only evidence in a courtroom. This isn't a legal matter. What we've got is just a guy saying stuff for which we're supposed to take his word. And not every scholar even agrees that the Gospel of John was written by the actual eyewitness either. But we're supposed to trust it, to have faith in it. Forget that. Faith is what you have when the facts have failed to prove what you wish was real, but keep believing anyway.
At Stand to Reason, we help Christians think clearly as they share their worldview with others.
And yet you pansies keep your comment section closed, just like every other cowardly Christian organization out there that decide to make a YouTube channel. Just how strong is your faith, I have to wonder. Until next time, fellow space travelers, this is BionicDance saying don't run on automatic. Instead, please think. Hebrews 11:1. Where the fuck is it? There it is. Hebrews 11. Damn it, did I just hit the mic? Fuck. Alright. And not every scholar even agrees that the Gospel of John was written by the...
Attention citizens. Failure to contribute will result in suspended oxygen privileges. Attention citizens. Failure to contribute will result in suspended oxygen privileges. Attention citizens.
Halt.